Warm greetings from the High 10. It is Everyday Shenanigans, and thanks for joining me. The commentary I'm bringing to you is pertaining to the U.S. versus Robert Sylvester Kelly. As most of you know, he is in New York being tried on racketeering and various charges, and the Daily Beast is the source. Accuser. R.Kelly called me a silly bitch before choking me out. The last time Jeronda Pace went to R.Kelly's house in 2010, the teenager got into an argument with the Grammy-winning star about who she was texting. I went to Rob's house and Rob called me a silly bitch, Pace wrote in her journal entry about the January 23rd, 2010 encounter, which the 28-year-old emotionally read out aloud in court on Thursday. That same meeting, she told jurors a day earlier, ended with the R&B singer slapping her at least 3 times before putting his hands on her throat and choking her until she passed out. On Thursday, the journal entry added excruciating new detail to the story of the first witness in the federal racketeering and sex crime trial against the disgraced music star. Rob slapped me 3 times. He said if I lied to him again, it's not going to be an open hand next time. He spit in my face and in my mouth and choked me, Pace wrote back in 2010. After being physically attacked until she ultimately passed out, Pace wrote she had oral sex with the then 43-year-old singer before ultimately leaving him for good. I became fed up and I went home and confessed, she read out loud in court before asking to take a break while clutching a used tissue. As the first accuser to take the stand, Pace is one of at least 5 women who were expected to testify during the proceedings against the once revered Grammy-winning singer and producer. Also among the horrifying testimony Thursday, R.Kelly recorded himself having sex with Pace in a home studio outside Chicago called The Cabin, during which he insisted she dress up as a young girl, she said. He wanted me to put my hair up in pigtails and dress like a Girl Scout, Pace told jurors. He recorded us having sexual intercourse. The woman previously told jurors she had a 6-month relationship with Kelly when she was 16. She said the relationship mostly consisted of sexual encounters at his Olympia Fields, Illinois mansion and quickly turned controlling after Kelly established a series of bizarre rules. I wasn't supposed to tell anyone I was spending time with him, Pace said on Wednesday when describing her relationship with the singer. I had to call him daddy. I had to wear baggy clothes. I couldn't leave where I was without permission. I wouldn't eat without his permission. I wouldn't even go to the bathroom without his permission, quote unquote. The length of time that it took for Kelly to grant permission was also based on his mood, Pace said. When I was on his good side, she said getting permission took about 5 minutes. But when Pace landed on his bad side, she said it took Kelly hours and sometimes days to allow her to use the bathroom. The longest time to get permission to use the bathroom was 3 days, Pace told jurors on Thursday. The relationship between the teenager and Kelly ended in January 2010 after the pair got into the fateful argument. Kelly got so angry he attacked her, she said. Kelly, 54, is charged in New York with a 9-count indictment, including racketeering based on sexual exploitation of children, kidnapping and forced labor. He's also charged with violation of the Mann Act, which bars the transport of people across state lines for sex. The charges stem from alleged abuse against at least 6 women and girls, 4 of whom were allegedly minors when Kelly first slept with them. At least 2 also contracted herpes from the singer, including Pace, after he knowingly exposed them to the disease, according to prosecutors. Kelly has pleaded not guilty to all charges against him. His defense team has argued that their client's accusers had consensual relationships with the singer and that the ones who testify are liars who have an agenda. On Wednesday, Pace testified she first, got a little fast there, went to Kelly's house in May 2009 after one of his tour managers invited the teenager and her friend to a party. While she was only at the party for less than 30 minutes because the music was loud, Pace said Wednesday she and Kelly exchanged numbers. Days later, Kelly invited the teenager back to his home and asked her to bring a bathing suit for his indoor pool. Pace said on Wednesday that during the incident, the singer asked her to walk back and forth and remove my bathing suit as I did it. The encounter quickly turned sexual, Pace told jurors, when Kelly performed oral sex on her. Afterwards, she said she felt the need to tell Kelly she was underage because she felt what happened wasn't right. I was uncomfortable about the situation, and I knew a lot about my age, so I wanted him to know my age, Pace said Thursday during cross-examination, admitting she did not feel discomfort with the incident until after it turned sexual. Prosecutors said that soon after the meeting, the teen was forced to provide collateral. Among the collateral, false letters that she stole $100,000 in jewelry and that she worked and got subsequently fired for Kelly. Neither claim was true. Kelly's defense team on Wednesday, however, portrayed Pace as a superfan who was completely enveloped by the singer and went out of her way to meet him. She skipped school, lied to her mother, defense attorney Nicole Blank-Becker told jurors. She possessed a special passion for Mr. Kelly. Becker claimed that Pace was a self-proclaimed liar and urged the jury to remember that her credibility will be an issue. During cross-examination on Thursday, defense attorney Devereaux Canick also tried to imply that Pace was a liar, making her repeat several times that she lied about her age and profited from a self-published book. In one particularly rough line of questioning, defense attorney slammed Pace for implying Kelly never told her he had herpes and showed her a February 2019 interview she had with authorities in which she said she was told by Kelly that herpes has been traveling around since the late 90s. Daddy's not doing too good. Have you ever heard of herpes? Kelly told Pace, according to the interview transcription Canick read aloud in court. In the interview, Pace told investigators that he also told her in July of 2009 conversation to look down there to make sure the virus wasn't traveling. That makes no sense. According to Canick, Pace told investigators that Kelly then proceeded to inspect her vagina with his fingers to see if she contracted the incurable virus. And the attorney added the singer told her that she could tell people she got the virus from him. That makes no sense to me. Okay, anyway. The interview, which Pace admitted to remembering in part, appeared to contradict testimony on Wednesday in which she claimed Kelly, this is very strange, never told her he had herpes during the relationship. Dr. Chris G. McGrath, a professor at Northwestern University and Kelly's former primary care doctor, testified Thursday that he began prescribing the singer medication to treat herpes symptoms no later than 2007. The doctor told jurors that he first became aware of the possibility Kelly might have herpes much earlier after a June 5th, 2000 visit. Over the years, McGrath said he called in countless prescriptions for Kelly. So often that I memorized the phone number of that Walgreens, McGrath said. Wow. The doctor later admitted that while Kelly had health insurance, the singer did not pay for his medical services over the 25-year period they worked together. But McGrath said he did attend several parties and studio sessions and at least a dozen of Kelly's concerts across the country, sometimes on the singer's dime. Now, let me repeat what was said, because this is very interesting. The doctor admitted that while Kelly had health insurance, the singer did not pay for his medical services over a 25-year period they worked together. Well, that makes no sense. If he has health insurance, why wouldn't you be billing his health insurance? Because wouldn't you bill your other clients? But he did say he attended several parties and studio sessions and at least a dozen of Kelly's concerts across the country, sometimes on the singer's dime. Sometimes. Okay, I believe that is the last of that commentary. Daily Beast is the source. So to recap, Jeronda Pace has testified that she was seeing him, altercation last time, performed oral sex with him the last time they visit with one another. It became violent before she left. And as she stated, she performed, an act on him before her last time seeing him, which was 2010. We now have a doctor saying he treated him for about 25 years. He believes that possibly he had it in 2000, but doesn't explain why he thought he had it in 2000. So what did he see? So he's confirming 2007 is when he started treating R.Kelly for the virus. And it was so often that he memorized the Walgreens number. He's also stating that Robert had health insurance, but never paid for his services. Basically, went on trips, went to the studio, parties, whatever. Sometimes R.Kelly paid the price for those parties, whatever. This makes no sense to me. He has health insurance. Why didn't you bill him? It's a very odd statement. The fact that now they're going back into the history with Jerhonda on something she said about R. Kelly telling her he had the virus, checking her down there to see if it was traveling. That makes no logical sense. Why would the virus need to travel if it's already inside of your body? It's already in you. So it doesn't need to travel anywhere. It's already there. You mean you checked her to see if she had lesions down there. That's what you meant. See, this is very kooky, weird stuff going on. Anyway, you're entitled to believe what you want to believe pertaining to the said information. She also states he wanted her to dress up like a Girl Scout, pigtails, whatever. The sad part about the story is that she was skipping school, obviously, not going home, because the one comment about her going as long as 3 days without using the restroom means she wasn't home. So where did her mother think she was? Where did she tell her mother she was? And if I'm not mistaken, Jeronda did say in the Surviving R. Kelly series that her mother didn't care about her welfare and where she was. But I still think it's sad that a 16-year-old is running around the city, doing whatever she wants, out in the suburbs, sleeping at a grown man's house. He's doing whatever he wants to her, filming her, God knows what else, acts they were engaged in. Then he's giving her venereal disease, beating her, verbally abusing her. And as I state, whatever else was going on, it's sad. Because no matter if she liked him, was a groupie, followed him around, you also have to remember, how did she get access to him? And that's the point. Whether it was she was hanging outside when he first was going to court and or this party that they met, however it went, he was the adult, she was the child. He should have said no. Whether she came onto him, didn't come onto him, somebody passed her a number, he gave it to her, vice versa, however it went, R. Kelly was the adult. And as I state, where the hell was her mama? Because 3 days, her saying he wouldn't let her use the restroom means she stayed in R. Kelly's house 3 days without going to school. Not attending school. Not sleeping in her own bed at her house. Not eating, dressing in her own house. Jacked up. Thank you for joining me. Okay. Bring you the next commentary pertaining to Robert Kelly. I believe I have about 3 sources of information to bring to you guys. Thank you so much for joining me. If you want to donate to the channel, $BigAngie129 Cash App. This is sad because she was a minor. And as I stated, it doesn't matter that a child flirted with an adult. It doesn't matter. They have the mind of a child. You have no business partaking in any sexual activity with a child. Calling them, talking, groping, sex, oral sex, doesn't matter. Kissing, nothing. You're an adult. You have no business fraternizing or having any type of sexual relations with a child. Okay. The next set of information pertaining to Robert Kelly. You know, a lot's been said naturally in court, and I'm trying to bring you that set of information. Thank you all so much for joining me. R. Kelly's marriage to Aaliyah examined in New York racketeering trial. And as I state, this is a federal trial, so I'm going to try to skim through this quickly. Okay. It was said in court by Maria Cruz Melendez in her opening statement pertaining to the marriage of Aaliyah. The singer was 15, R. Kelly 27. He allegedly got her pregnant, entering into a marriage to prohibit testimony against him. If she was pregnant, that meant there would be questions. At the very top of that list of questions is who's the father of the baby, Ms. Melendez said in court. Cruz Melendez would provide details of obtaining a fake ID for Aaliyah, allowing her to be married at age 18. Including in R. Kelly's racketeering case are charges of kidnapping, sex trafficking, and more. Hold on one second. We've got quite a bit here. Let me see if they're going to bring up more. I was trying to see because they've got so much. It doesn't really say very much on this in this article. Very interesting because we knew that was going to happen about the about Aaliyah. So right now we have Jerhonda testifying the issue of the marriage to Aaliyah, the obtaining of the fake ID. So that was mentioned in the court. And I will bring you another source of information pertaining to this trial. I'll try to bring it out to you. Hold on one second. It's quite a bit, so bear with me. There's also information about the tour manager. And I really want to get to that pertaining to this because it's very important. I'm going to go ahead and read that. Thanks for joining me. Archemax is the source. R. Kelly's tour manager will take the stand against singer, but doesn't think he deserves prison. R. Kelly's former tour manager expected to take the stand Thursday against a disgraced R&B superstar, but doesn't think the singer deserves prison time. Demetrius Smith argued to the New York Daily News in an interview outside Brooklyn federal court that Kelly is the product of the environment in which he was raised and was surrounded by neighbors, including himself. To me, he isn't a criminal. He was more than that. He's like a dog. If you train it to be a monster, it ain't all his fault. And that's what they did. His managers didn't stop Robert in any kind of way. Robert was a kid coming into the music business, and as a kid, he didn't have anything. His power was his music, Smith said. In his testimony, Smith is expected to discuss his role as part of the entourage that facilitated Kelly's criminal behavior. During opening statements at Kelly's sex trafficking trial Wednesday, prosecutors said Smith will speak to the $500 bribe he paid to a Chicago public assistance worker in order to make a fake ID for Aaliyah that claimed the young singer was 18 when she was really 15 so that she could legally marry Kelly. Kelly wanted to marry Aaliyah after she revealed to him that she was pregnant, said prosecutors, but Smith denied he ever saw Kelly and Aaliyah get intimate. Him and Aaliyah played. I didn't see Robert holding her hand and kissing her. That didn't happen in front of us, Smith said. Smith says that before the marriage, Kelly fooled him into thinking his relationship with Aaliyah, who died in a plane crash in 2000, was innocent. Kelly would say that was like my sister. She just makes me feel so happy. And I believe that and respected that, Smith told the Daily News. The former tour manager said that after procuring Aaliyah's fake ID for the wedding in 1996, he stopped working for Kelly. But despite Kelly's marriage to an underage girl and the allegations of sexual abuse against his former boss, Smith sees him as a kid in a man's body who shouldn't go to prison. He deserves a second chance, Smith said. This testimony is by Archemax for the source. Let's discuss this. I don't know if I believe that. At some point, you can tell when people like each other. And you can use common sense to think possibly something's going on. Naturally, he may not have touched her, groped her in front of people because he knew she was a child, it could get back. So once again, where were her parents, guardians, to have left her in this custody with this man to where she could, one, be having sex, get a fake ID. It is said that R. Kelly flew to a hotel. I don't know if the hotel was in Chicago or not, but married her there. So who's the person that married them? Besides getting the fake ID and bribing somebody and paying a clerk, office official, whomever, for the bribe to make the fake ID, who was the person that married him in the hotel? And so now we hear that he only married her because she said she was pregnant. Was she pregnant or was she not? And if she was pregnant, what happened to the child? See, all the questions. Baby, no baby. Where were the parents? Rumors of him handing over also, which is not in this article, but just the rumors about the handing over the music title, this and that, because not wanting them to sue, because they found out she was married. Oh, they were so upset. I don't know about that because I haven't heard testimony that they were upset. Because as I state, where were they? How is it that your child is in the custody peripheral of a grown man to be having sexual relations? That means they had to be alone for a period of time in order to engage in sex. Once again, where were her parents? How long did this go on? She being alone with R. Kelly. What was the timeline between the marriage and it getting annulled? Was it straight cutoff between the two once the parents found out? And did he fork over some of the rights of his music in order as a payout for them not to press charges against him for marrying her underage? And this man to me is stupid. Because you see, you're sitting here now trying to say he doesn't need to go to prison, but you didn't plead the fifth because you knew that they had evidence against you for paying the bribe to get the ID. So that means you committed a crime. So therefore, this is your immunity. Testify against R. Kelly. But then you want to sit on the sidelines and say, oh, well, he is a product of his environment. Yeah, he's just a kid. Yeah, he's just a kid inside of a man's body. Well, he's 50-something years old. He knows better. And at some point, R. Kelly knew chasing behind little girls under the age of 18 is wrong. Not was, is wrong. Still wrong. And he still has no remorse. He doesn't think that passing the herpes is a problem. Other venereal diseases, using the women, abusing the women, children. Most of these are girls, were girls at the time. He had no problem with that. And what's sad is to this day, he denies all charges of everything that's in the indictment, 9 counts. So you're going to sit here and tell me this man's almost 55 years of age. He has no remorse for his deeds. Luring young girls, using you all to get the young girls. And you think he doesn't deserve to go to prison. You think he's all right. He has no remorse because he's a narcissist. He's a sociopath. He does not care. And you all were sick to go along with it. And I'm not going to sit here and think that some of you who were in his company at that time did not know that something was going on between he and Aaliyah. And I fought her parents because they are responsible as well. And I'm sick and tired of hearing people talk bad about other girls' parents who are taking bribes or ask for money. You don't have proof. You'll have to show proof that they willingly knew their child was messing with R.Kelly. They went and asked for money or used their child to get money. Bring a receipt. And then compare that also to Leah's parents. How would they be different? If indeed they did know she was messing with R.Kelly, but didn't know about the marriage. Or did, played crazy. It's going to get out to the public. Now, give us something in exchange. How is it different? Because at some point they knew she was in his company. Where did they think she was? See, you understand what I'm saying? So if you're going to call a spade, hey, then do that. Don't talk bad about these women that you don't know were in cahoots with trying to get this money out this man, but then try to give Aaliyah's parents a pass because she was famous. Yeah, I'm saying that. Some of you are judging her parents because of Aaliyah. Wrong is wrong. If indeed they knew, had knowledge of their child engaging in sex, they are foul. If they took monies from R. Kelly and or royalties from his music, they are foul. And they would be no different than if allegedly some of these girls' parents knew their child was engaging in sex and they asked for money. Wrong is wrong. That's the sad information by Archimax. If you need verification of that information, I will be bringing you one more source. Thank you all for joining me. This is a riveting case thus far, I must admit. This will be my last source. Thank you all so much. ABC 7 Chicago is the source. This is a timeline of R. Kelly's life. R. Kelly has long faced allegations of lurid sexual behavior and abuse, some of which have been made public through documentaries or court documents. The R&B singer is once again heading to court, this time for a federal trial in New York stemming from years of sexual abuse allegations. He denies the allegations against him. Here's a timeline of Kelly's life from his early days in Chicago through his rise and fall as an R&B artist. January 8, 1967, Robert Sylvester Kelly is born in Chicago to Joanne Kelly, a school teacher. R. Kelly is third of 4 children and lives with his family in Chicago's housing projects. Little is known about his father. And I find that interesting that his mother was a teacher, but yet they lived in public housing. Very interesting. 1975, at age 8, Kelly began singing in the church. 1979, at age 12, Kelly said he experienced a lot of things at a very young age that I don't know if I was supposed to, including witnessing older youth rape one of his girlfriends. So see, the trauma's been there. Okay. 1 second. Screen jumped off. Sorry about that, you guys. Oh, wow, this is sickening. Okay. Okay, we're going to go back. 79, at 12, he witnessed an older youth rape one of his girlfriends. That makes no sense to me. So what are you telling me? He stood by and watched his friend rape one of his girlfriends? This is crazy. 83, at the age of 16, his mother moves the family from the projects and enrolls her son at the prestigious Kenwood Academy, a Chicago public school. And yes, Kenwood has always been deemed a very well above standard school on the south side of Chicago. In Hyde Park. Hyde Park is a very well-known area, which is near the University of Chicago. And it's a very affluent area where many black people who are well-to-do live in that area, such as our former president, Mr. Obama, and his wife, Mrs. Obama, for those who did not know that information. So, we've got him going to school at Kenwood Academy in 1983 at 16, and his mother and family have moved out of the projects. 84, he's 17. His music teacher places him in a local talent show to perform a version of Ribbon in the Sky, a Stevie Wonder song. That night it was like Spider-Man being bit. I discovered the power you get from being on stage, he told Newsweek in 1995. In the years that follow, he performs at Chicago subway stations full time with his Casio keyboard, often pretending he was blind to avoid arrest. 1990, R.Kelly's R&B group, MGM, wins the $100,000 grand prize on the syndicated television talent show Big Break, hosted by Natalie Cole. Because of money disagreements, that is the last time the group performed. Music executive Wayne Williams of Jive Records discovers Kelly singing at a barbecue that summer. January 1992. R. Kelly in public announcement debuts Born into the 90s. Released a year later, the album goes platinum. November 1993, his album 12 Play is released and eventually sells more than 5 million copies. Hit singles include Sex Me and Bump and Grind, which became the longest running #1 R&B song in more than 30 years. August 31st, 1994, at age 27, R. Kelly marries 15-year-old R&B singer Aaliyah D. Houghton. The couple weds in a secret ceremony arranged by Kelly at a hotel in Chicago. The marriage is annulled months later because of Aaliyah's age. September 1994. So just for the record, August 94 is when he married Aaliyah. Months later, it was annulled. September 1994, Aaliyah's debut album, Age Ain't Nothing But a Number, which Kelly produced, is certified platinum. Aaliyah died in a plane crash 7 years later at age 22. November 1996, R. Kelly releases his third album, R.Kelly. A month later, he incorporates Rockland Records. His song, I Believe I Can Fly, from the Space Jam soundtrack, peaks at #2 on the Billboard Pop chart. The same year, he marries 22-year-old Andrea Lee, a dancer from his touring troupe. The couple goes on to have 3 children, Joanne, Jaya, and Robert Jr. February 18, 1997, Tiffany Hawkins files a complaint against Kelly alleging intentional sexual battery and sexual harassment while she was a minor. This is 1997. And go back to the 1996, November, I did not even know he was married. He married a young lady who was 22 years of age, Miss Andrea, who was a backup dancer. So I think that's very interesting because I never even knew he was married, nor did I knew that he had children. So just for the record. So February 1897, Tiffany Hawkins files a complaint for sexual battery, sexual harassment while she was a minor. January 1998, Hawkins' lawsuit is reportedly settled for $250,000. February 1998, Kelly wins 3 Grammys for I Believe I Can Fly. November 1998, his album R hit stores. It has since sold 6 million copies. November 2000, his album TP2.com debuts at #1 on the Billboard album chart. August 2001, Tracy Sampson files a lawsuit against Kelly alleging their sex was illegal under Illinois law because he was in a position of authority over her. The case was reportedly settled out of court for an undisclosed amount. So now we have 2 lawsuits in just a couple of years' time. 98, one was settled. Then we have 2001. 2 lawsuits. February 8, 2002. Chicago Sun-Times reported that it received a videotape allegedly showing Kelly having sex with a minor. The paper reported Chicago police began investigating allegations about Kelly and the same girl 3 years earlier. At the time, the girl and her parents denied she was having sex with Kelly. The same day the news breaks, Kelly performs at the opening ceremonies for the Winter Olympics in Salt Lake City. June 5, 2002. Kelly is indicted in Chicago on child pornography charges stemming from the sex tape. He pleads not guilty and is released on $750,000 bail. Very high. January 2003, Kelly is arrested at a Florida hotel on additional child pornography charges after investigators said they found photos of him having sex with a girl. Charges are later dropped after the judge ruled police didn't have a warrant to search Kelly's house. February 18, 2003, Kelly's album Chocolate Factory is released, selling 538,000 copies in its first week. July 2005, Kelly's 7th solo album TP3 Reloaded hits #1 spot on the Billboard chart. September 2005, Andrea Kelly asks for an order of protection from her husband, accusing the singer of hitting her when she said she wanted a divorce. February 2006, R. Kelly's brother, Kelly, says his brother offered him $50,000 and a record deal to say he was the person on the sex video. May 29, 2007, Kelly releases his album Double Up, which peaks at #1 on the Billboard albums chart. May 9, 2008, Kelly's child pornography trial begins. June 13, 2008, Kelly is acquitted on all counts, less than a full day of deliberations. January 8, 2009, Kelly and his former wife, Andrea, confirmed they divorced after 11 years of marriage. July 12, 2011, Crane Chicago Business reports that a $2.9 million foreclosure is filed by J.P. Morgan Chase Bank against Kelly's suburban Chicago mansion. A spokesman claims the singer is not having financial trouble. March 21st, 2012, Kelly announced he is reviving his video series, Trapped in a Closet. The project begins as 5 videos for his dramatic cliffhanger songs in 2007 and eventually grows to several dozen musical chapters dealing with the web of sexual deceit. Kelly teams with IFC to premiere the old and new series and performs the rap opera at events such as a sing-along at Bonnaroo. There was talk of a Broadway show. June 15, 2012, the Chicago Sun-Times reports Kelly owes the IRS more than $4.8 million in back taxes. June 27, 2012, Kelly publishes his autobiography, Solar Coaster, The Diary of Me, focusing on his creative and family life rather than his legal troubles. September 29, 2012, Kelly is nominated for 2 Soul Train Awards, making him the most nominated act ever at the awards show. March 18, 2013, Kelly's mansion, once valued at more than $5 million, sells for $950,000 in a foreclosure auction. July 17, 2017, BuzzFeed reports on parents' claims that Kelly brainwashed their daughters and was keeping them in an abusive cult. One woman says she was with Kelly willingly. Following the BuzzFeed report, activists launched the hashtag Mute R.Kelly movement, calling for boycotts of his music. February 13, 2018, Kelly is evicted from 2 Atlanta area homes over more than $31,000 owed in unpaid rent. April 30th, 2018, the Time's Up campaign devoted to helping women in the aftermath of sexual abuse joins the hashtag Mute R. Kelly social media campaign and pushes for further investigation into Kelly's behavior, which had come under closer scrutiny over the previous year as women came forward, accusing him of sexual coercion and physical abuse. Kelly's camp responds, "We will vigorously resist this attempted public lynching of a black man who has made extraordinary contributions to our culture." May 2018, Spotify cuts R. Kelly's music from its playlist, citing its policy on hate content and hateful conduct. Shortly after Apple and Pandora also stopped promoting his music, Kelly's team pushes back, noting other artists on Spotify had been accused or convicted of crimes. May 21st, 2018, Faith Routers 20 files a lawsuit accusing R. Kelly of sexual battery, mental and verbal abuse, and knowingly inflicting her with herpes during a year-long relationship. So let's go back a year, May of 2018. Shortly after Apple and Pandora also stopped promoting his music, Kelly's team pushes back, saying others also have been convicted of crimes. And then May 18th, Faith files a lawsuit against Mr. Kelly for sexual battery. January 3rd, 2019, Lifetime airs the documentary Surviving R. Kelly, which revisited old allegations against him and brought new ones in the spotlight. The series followed the BBC's R. Kelly Sex, Girls, and Videotape